What do you do if you get lost?
Find a big black guy.
You find a big black guy, and what do you tell him?
And that I died.
A few moments later.
All right, guys, we have this little girl, her name Kiara, and this guy right here, this one that's looking right here, asking her what's her penny size and asking her
If I'm a virgin.
if she's a virgin. He asked you that, what'd he say?
He asked if I was a virgin, and then he told me that he wanted me.
And he said he wanted her. So we finna go confront him. You wanna go confront him?
Huh?
The dude asking her if she's a virgin.
Who?
Dude with the brown hat that was sitting over there.
Yeah, right. I'm finna put him on, he finna go viral because he's nasty,
Hey!
bro.
Why are you asking a little kid if she's a virgin, bro?
I didn't.
Yes, you did.
I did not.
Yes, you did.
No.
Why would she lie?
No, I wasn't even talking about her. I
You-
was talking about something else.
No, you wasn't. You
I
asked
wasn't,
her.
she might have misunderstood me. That ain't nothing.
No, you asked her what's her penny size, bro. Why? Why you asking that, bro?
I was singing a song. I wasn't talking to her.
No, you wasn't.
Yes, I was. I was sitting right there. I had the phone.
Bro, she 10 years
Sorry,
old, bro.
I don't care. I ain't
She
nothing
10.
about her.
What's your
I'm not
name?
that way.
What's your name?
Huh? Steve.
What? Steve? All right, Steve. That's weird, bro. Why would you do that, bro? She's scared, bro. She's scared of you. She's scared of you.
So I made sure to play the classic clip of the white mother telling her daughter that if you ever get lost, find a big black man to help you, right? And that was a video at the time. It blew up, and you had a lot of white people. They were just in hysterics. They were angry, and they wanted to rage out and yada, 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 and all this other type of stuff, right? So in comes years later, 2025, and we see a video of a young girl who was 10. She stated that this white male was acting very weird. He was saying things that he should not be saying, asking her about panties, asking her, is she a virgin, and saying that he wanted her in different. Again, all of those are very weird things, and that only means one type of thing about this individual and what it is that he is specifically about, and how it is that he shouldn't be on the streets, and how it is that he should be locked up. And the young girl gave a description to the other black guy, right? She already told the first black guy filming, like, yo, there's a problem. I'm going to sit up and tell you because for all intents and purposes, right? She couldn't go to nobody else. There was nobody else that she could go to that she felt safe enough to address this issue to. And that is problematic within itself, because all around her, even on the street, were people who looked just like her, who were representative of her community. But she did not feel safe enough to go to any of those people that were in or around that space. She went to the two outsiders of that community, of a demographic of which that are not a part of hers, that don't look like her, and really that don't owe her any type of protection at all. But due to the fact of how it is that black people are, more specifically to how it is that black men are protectors, they are providers, they are nurturers, they are men that look out for the best interest of those directly out there. Black men will come to the aid of those who cannot defend themselves, right? And will do the best that they can in order to defend said person, especially when it deals with children. And that's not only what one black man did, but that's what a second black man did. And when you were able to hear her give the description and talk to the other black guy, he immediately jumped up. He was like, oh, let's go. It's green. Where's this dude at? Real quick. I'm about to let me sit up there and think real quick on if I can actually possibly do something, because I really want to do something, right? So they roll up, they go and see who the guy is, and they spot him. And you see very quickly how you got the guy filming who has the young girl by his side, and then the other black guy who was just made aware of the situation. He hurried up and swooped right behind the dude, because he was getting ready to potentially put hands, at least one quick 1-2 directly on this dude. And well deserved, I might add, well deserved. Because at no point in time should you be any type of adult, more specifically, should you be a man and decide that this is something that you want to directly say towards a child. Realistically, you shouldn't be saying it towards anybody. But in this instance, he's saying this directly to a child. You know that she is uncomfortable. You know that she does not feel safe because that dude is there. And the other dude in the beater was ready to sit up there and just lay this dude out on the concrete real quick. I would have, realistically, for me, you know, I can't really sit up there and you know, and say, but yeah, like I said before, the police aren't going to be the ones to handle that situation. They're not. Because a lot of the cops, they're in directly on that exact same type of time. You got a lot of the judges, the DA, and the lawyers on the exact same type of time. The court systems on the exact same type of time. Dealing with the EMS workers, the doctors, the pediatricians, the nurses. You got teachers. Like I said, no matter what section of public that you go into where these individuals have access to the kids, they're all on this type of time. They're all on this type of time. And this also goes to another aspect where you have a lot of people in a lot of communities out here that specifically want to state that black men are not protectors. That black men, you know, don't want to try to help out or serve people directly out there who need service. And then the other interesting thing about that is that if you look throughout the video, if you go back and count, you'll see several Caucasian individuals, those who are a part of her community, of which both men and women, that she could have went directly to ask for aid. Again, she didn't. When they went into that establishment, I'm pretty sure that there were Caucasian individuals there. Some of what you saw sent down, she could have went for them and told them specifically what it is. She didn't feel safe enough doing that either. Again, that is very telling when you have a child such as her afraid of people in her own community and feel that she does not have anybody to turn to that look just like her in order to rectify the situation. That speaks volumes. And even when this conversation was being spoken out loud directly in that place where people were within earshot to hear any and everything, the dude promptly sat down and he acted like he was just chilling, acting like nothing was happening. Act like he didn't know what the black folks was talking about, what that little 10-year-old girl was talking about. You had a dude sitting there right there next to him. He didn't even decide to even question. He would have been one of the main ones to try to body block and guard anything from happening to this dude. Like I said, a lot of them are on the exact same type of time. They would do any and everything in order to defend the people that they know are directly in the wrong, because birds of a feather flock together. Again, this is crazy. And like I said directly in my live stream, shout out to anybody who was in that live stream. Whenever it is that I happen to talk about a lot of these stories and bring things like this up, magically a lot of people want to stay silent in the background. They just want to sit there and they want to watch. Like I seen a lot of people pop up and they were just like, you know, I didn't really say anything because I was trying to see what everything is about. Nah, like, you see what it's about. If I put a picture and an image directly in front of you that's explaining the story, you should automatically start speaking. You should automatically start calling out how wrong this is, because a lot of people out here always want to say that, oh, they're not a part of the exact same group, or you shouldn't try to automatically say that everybody is the same. Then you need to speak up and let people know that you're different from the others directly out there. I'm not about to sit up there and assume. I'm tired of assuming. I'm not about to do that. A lot of other black Americans out here, we're tired of assuming that everybody's different. We need to see people by actions. You need to start, you know, walking in those actions, speaking directly in those actions, and acting within those actions as well. You need to start doing those three things in order for us to differentiate you from the others. But even still, then we still don't know, because it's only a matter of time before somebody, you know, get a little bit of alcohol in their system or whatever else, and then they start talking out the side of their neck. And it happens every single time. And then people want to give a lame apology like, oh, that's not really me. I'm not really like this. I got this and that in my family. And, you know, I got this and that as friends. And I don't got time for it. And then on top of that, anytime that I happen to speak about stories just like this, you know, videos like that tend to get, you know, low views, which is crazy, which is diabolical. You know, that makes me think that, you know, there's a lot of systems out here that are, you know, in a sense, silently advocating for those types, you know, that seek out, you know, the most vulnerable in our communities. It's crazy work. Like I said, it's an uphill battle. And you know, it's tough when you technically feel as though you're the only one doing it or willing to risk, you know, to get that to get the information directly out there in order to showcase, you know, this type of stuff. And like I said in a live stream as well before, a lot of people say that we need to get rid of Black history, right? And that you know, in reverse, people are like, hey, we just need to do white history. No problem. This is that history. Better yet, let me give you a better picture.
What?
So here we are, and this is again American history, right? Because a lot of people say, oh, let's get rid of, you know, Black history, just make, you know, white history. No problem, I got you. So marriage of Charlie Johnson and Eunice Winstead, and this is from Wikipedia, so just in case people think I'm making this up, this is ChatGPT, Photoshop, or AI, whatnot, whatever, go look it up yourself. They said that the marriage of a 22-year-old Charlie Johns and 9-year-old Eunice Winstead. Let me repeat that one more time, just so I make sure that we're all on the same page, right? The marriage of 22-year-old Charlie Johns and 9-year-old Eunice Winstead was a child marriage that took place in the state of Tennessee, United States, in January 1937. The event received national attention after Life magazine published an article about the union the following month. In response to Johns and Winstead's marriage, the state of Tennessee introduced a law setting the minimum age of marriage at 16 years of age. Other jurisdictions, including Minnesota, Rhode Island, and Washington, D.C., introduced similar laws. The couple remained married after the Tennessee law was passed, and the marriage lasted until John's death in 1997. Johns and Winstead had 9 children. And you know, the craziest part is, again, this is white history, this is American history. The craziest part about talking about this and going over this in my live stream that I just did today was the fact that I had, you know, some people obviously that were not Black wanted to come through and say that I was racist. And I'm like, how am I racist for talking about American history? How am I racist for pointing out the fact that you guys allowed this to happen and still allow it to happen after you changed the laws, making this marriage illegal? And you still decide to let this 9-year-old, what you were gonna say? Back in 1937, a 9-year-old is full-fledged within her right mind to figure that she wants to get married to somebody who is 20 years of age. Are you serious? That's the type of logic that you guys literally had. Like, how was this even happening? How was this even taking place? This is 1000% disgusting. This is crazy. This is 100% crazy. But like I said, y'all were the ones in control of the system. Y'all ruled the system. Nobody opted to jail this dude, to try this dude, to convict this dude. Nobody wanted to prosecute. Nobody wanted to do anything in the United States. None of y'all tried to sit up there and stop this from going on so that this little girl could have a normal life. Y'all sat there in shock, awe, and amazement, or maybe some type of happiness. I'm not sure. But all I know is all of you guys who are Caucasian Americans, all of y'all just stood there and did nothing. You allowed this to take place. So that's all of your whole ancestry of a tree. You're not going to sit up there and tell me, oh, y'all just didn't know nothing about it. Yes, you did. Time magazine, which is your publication, created by you for you, literally wrote a story a month after it took place. If Time magazine knew about it, I'm pretty sure other newspapers around the United States knew about it as well too. And I'm pretty sure that this story might have been some type of blurb directly on the radio, because that was a television during the time. So I'm pretty sure, you know, you guys were able to hear about that. You guys knew about that. But, you know, it is what it is, I guess. These are the things that y'all allow, just like I said earlier, that you have a lot of people that are a part of this whole thing where they allow these things. Like I said, what happened to the men of that community to call this out? Where were the men of her family to sit up there and protect her? Where was anybody? Nowhere. The guys taking the pictures, they didn't care. Oh, I'm about to sit up there and write about this. Boy, oh boy, I'm going to sit up there and get me a bonus for this story. Let me G. Williker Johns. It's crazy. Everybody just stood there and allowed this to happen. Now I fully understand how it is that Shirley Temple was able to go through the things that she had to go through while being a young celebrity. I understand it. And like I said, I got a small little video dealing with that on my IG. because it's diabolical how you guys allow that to take place, how y'all allow that to sit up there and happen. And that's something that y'all don't like bringing up or talking about. I wonder why. But every single time that we talk about things like this, y'all want to deflect. Y'all want to move the goalpost. Y'all want to push the argument somewhere else because now you're getting uncomfortable. Now it's getting a little bit too close. Now it's getting a little bit too hot in the kitchen. And now we're dealing with a situation that you are made to be accountable for, because you can't sit up there and say that anybody black had anything to do with this. Nope, not at all. But even still with that, guess what y'all going to say? Oh, that was so long ago. I mean, it's bad that it happened, but what can you do? And all this. Like I said, y'all never want to take any type of accountability, responsibility, or acknowledgement of the bad behaviors, of the abhorrent behaviors, of the negative behaviors, of what it is that you're doing, the consequences that the victims have to sit up there and deal with. Crazy work. This is why we have a society of which that don't believe women when they say when things happen, that they happen, and people tend to question them. This is why. Because you got men like the one sitting in that chair with that 9-year-old that are enabled, that are made to be justified, that are pedestalized for doing things like this. But anyways, let me know what you guys think about this video and everything that I stated in the comment description below. And as always, peace, love, and stay tuned for the next video.